Hey, good evening, everyone. Happy Thursday night. The week is wrapping up, and I hope you had a great one. I wanted to come live here quickly before I go to bed. I'm actually heading to bed pretty much as soon as I get off of here because I am tired tonight. My body is feeling it. I came live and talked to you guys yesterday about my struggles 2 nights ago. And it's really interesting. After eating really, really, really clean for 50, I don't even know what day I'm on today. Today is day 53. It was day 51 that I had, had my little goof up. So for 50 days, eating really, really, really clean and sticking solid to my plan, one day, like you would think that that wouldn't shake you so badly, but my body just really didn't like it. I've been paying the price for it. So it's now for sure going to make me think twice before I start introducing things into my system that really just are not healthy foods. Because when my system is really clean, I feel much better, and we don't realize how those things affect us until we bring those things that we shouldn't be having back in. And it's actually really interesting. This was not what I was going to talk about tonight, but I do want to throw that out there because people often ask me when they come on program and they say, "Oh, am I never going to be able to have whatever again?" And I always say, we never say never. There's things that, absolutely everything comes back in moderation. But what you'll find when you start cleaning up your system, even things that are presumably healthy foods, lots of things that are healthy foods, they may not be the best thing for your body. And you don't know that when your system is all, out of whack and not in a healthy place. And when you clean it up and you get it into a healthy place, sometimes you introduce things back in that are actually generally healthy foods, and you realize that they don't agree so well with your body. And maybe you never knew that before because all the other stuff that you were having, you didn't know what was making you feel sluggish or icky. And I know that I found this when I originally hit my original goal. And then I started introducing certain foods back in, and there were healthy foods that I brought back in, but they just didn't sit well with my body. So I've had, am I told that I can never have those? No, but I choose not to have them because I know how they make me feel. And it was really interesting to me to see the last, 48 hours, how just one night of really eating a bunch of stuff that I shouldn't have had, when I went off the wagon a lot, how it actually made me feel or the last 2 days and now contending with it. So it's going to make me think twice again over, how I do this as I clean my system back up. But I'm coming live to you. That was not really what I was going to come to talk to you about tonight. I was really coming live to you to talk to you about a question, or really it's two questions, depending on what the situation is, how I flip it. It's the thought process that goes through my head when I'm making a decision. And I actually was speaking to several different clients about this exact thing today, which is when I find myself talking to a bunch of people about the same thing. Either it's really what I need to hear, but it's also when I say it more than once or twice during a day, I feel like, okay, that's a great live topic. So the first piece that I ask is generally when I'm debating whether I should do something, I ask myself, who wins if I do, and who loses if I don't? So if you stop and ask yourself when you're making a decision, the decision about making the healthy choice, generally that's the way I ask it. If I'm debating whether I want to make the healthy choice in my life, I ask myself, who wins if I do this? But who loses if I don't? So when I'm looking at contending for my own health, when I'm looking at making the choices, so my challenge that I've been doing for myself, who wins if I do this challenge? I win, my kids win, my husband wins, our whole family wins when I follow that, when I do it, because I'm feeling better, I have more energy, I can be a better mom, I can be a better wife, all of those things. We all win. And who loses if I don't? We all lose if I don't. If I don't take care of myself, if I don't make the choices for my health, I don't feel well, so I lose big time. But when I don't feel well, I'm not a very good mom. I'm not a very good wife. I'm not a very good friend. I'm not a very good coach. Everybody loses when I don't. So that's something really it's mind, when you start thinking about it and saying, who wins if I do this and who loses if I don't? When you're trying to make a decision to figure out, making the good choice. But the opposite can be said when you're looking at something and you're debating and you're not sure if it's a great choice. You can ask, who loses if I do this? And who wins if I don't? So for instance, I wish a few nights ago when I was struggling, I had stopped and asked myself this question. Who loses if I let myself go off plan? Who loses? You know who lost? Well, I lost because I didn't feel good. I didn't feel good emotionally. I didn't feel good physically. I haven't felt good. I'm feeling the repercussions, like I said, for yesterday and today, the repercussions of that. And tomorrow I'll be feeling fine because I'll be back in fat burn and I'll be feeling good. But I'm feeling that it definitely it kicked me out. But when I'm not feeling good, you know who else loses? My kids lose. My husband loses because I am short-tempered. I'm not at my best. And when I'm not at my best, I can't be at my best for them. So everybody else loses when I do. But who wins if I don't? If I hadn't made those choices, who would have won? I would have won, and the rest of them all would have won. So really asking yourself that when you're in a good place, when you're making a decision that, and looking at it and saying a good, healthy choice, who wins if I do this? And who loses if I don't? And if you're looking at something and you're trying to decide if something that's not such a great choice for you, it's not such a great choice, if you have to debate it, ask it in the reverse. Who loses if I do this? And who wins if I don't? If you can start asking yourself those questions, I can tell you when I'm able to do that, and I'm human, so I can't always do it. This is a lot easier for me to sit here and say this than it is to do it. But when I'm capable of doing it, when we're capable of doing it, it changes everything. It's the same concept as stop, challenge, choose, which is really what I teach my clients. This is just a different way of looking at it. Stop, ask yourself, is this a good choice? What's going to happen if I do it? What are the repercussions going to be? Am I okay with that? Am I going to feel good about that? If yes, go for it. Do it. Great. If no, then don't. Then your answer is no. So that's really, those are really powerful things. And this applies to everything in your life. It's something that I've actually been trying to, teach to my kids, every day when they're doing certain things. Who wins if I do the things I'm supposed to do right? And who loses if I don't? So for instance, my son has been struggling with, we're figuring out the balance of the homeschooling, and there are certain school things he loves to do, and he jumps in and he wants to do them right away, and there's no problem. But there are some of the things that he's just got to do because we've just said that this is what's got to be done, and he fights us on it tooth and nail. And I asked him, who wins if you fight us on this? Who wins? Nobody wins. Nobody wins if you're fighting. You get upset, we get upset, it doesn't do any good, and you still have to do the work that we're requiring. You're not winning. And who loses if you don't? If you don't do it? Well, first of all, he's losing out if he doesn't do it because he's not learning the things that he needs to learn. But he's also learning out when he loses out when he's fighting with us, because then everybody just gets upset. So this plays into everything in our lives. So ask yourself, write it down, put it up big. I actually have it written. It is hanging in my kitchen now. Who wins if I do? Who loses if I don't? So I hope this is helpful for you. Feel free to reach out. I would love your feedback. I would love to hear what how this resonates with you. I am getting ready to go to sleep. I am exhausted. And, because that's what happens when I don't follow my plan for a few days and kick myself, or it wasn't a few days, but when I don't follow my plan and kick myself out of fat burn and my body starts feeling ick. So now, tomorrow I will be feeling great again, because who wins when I do? Who wins when I stick to my thing and can cross everything off on my list in a day? I win, and the rest of my family wins, and everybody else that I hopefully am around wins. So have a great night. I will see you guys back here tomorrow. I would love to hear feedback. I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking. And if you use this, let me know how it goes. Who wins if I do? And who loses if I don't? Have a great night. Bye.